With the Lion King timeline being split up, we now have two completely different origin stories for everyone's favorite Disney villain, Scar, or Taka if you want to use his real name. But it seems in either timeline he embraces his nickname, so for the sake of simplicity, let's just call him Scar in this video. We hear from the Lion Guard that Scar got his scar from a snake, and Mufasa gave him his nickname. In the Mufasa film, however, he gets his scar from the white lion Kiros, and he tells Mufasa to nickname him Scar. But who told his origin story better? Because they both lead to basically the same character in their respective Lion Kings. A deranged, scarred lion with a score to settle against the reigning king, who is allegedly his brother. But which story fits better knowing his insane betrayal later? And there isn't a clear winner with just a glance here, folks, so we'll have to deep dive. So hold on to your cream-filled bugs, we're going in. Oh, if you're new here, Hakuna Matata, I'm Tate. I cover all things Lion King on this channel, and just so that you're not completely lost, let's do a quick test. If you pass, you get to keep watching. If not, then you have to go watch my The Lion King Just Got a Whole Lot More Complicated video. Ready? Go. Number 1. The Lion King 2019 is just a retelling of the Lion King 1994 film, true or false? False. They're two different movies. If you got that right, give yourself a point. Number 2. Scar and Mufasa are blood brothers in A. The CGI Lion King timeline, B. The 2D Lion King timeline, C. Both, or D. Neither. Give yourself a point if you selected B. In the 2D animated Lion King, Mufasa and Taka are blood brothers. Number 3. The 2D animated Lion King timeline goes A. The Lion King 1.5, The Lion King 2, Simba's Pride. Or B. The Lion King 1.5, The Lion King 2, Simba's Pride, The Lion Guard. Or C. The Lion King 2, Simba's Pride, The Lion Guard. Or D. The Lion King 1.5, The Timon and Pumbaa Show, The Lion King 2, Simba's Pride, and The Lion Guard. The answer is C. The Lion King 2, Simba's Pride, and The Lion Guard. Timon and Pumbaa's shenanigans are not canon to the main 2D animated timeline. If you got at least 2 out of 3 correct, congrats, you passed. If you got less than that, go watch my video. I'm watching you. I'm actually curious, what was your score? Let me know in the comments. But now that we've got that out of the way, I think it's safe to say you know the live action style and 2D style animated Lion Kings are different, right? Sweet, okay, good. Now we can get to the juicy stuff. Like, why was Scar such a pathetic simp in Mufasa? Well, actually, he wasn't. His descension to madness was, yes, partly due to his overwhelming love for Sarabi and of course the rejection, but actually goes deeper than that. I touched on this briefly in my Mufasa review, but Sarabi's sort of rejection of him was just the final straw. I say sort of because she never formally rejected him, at least not in Mufasa. He just saw that she fell in love with Mufasa and that made him big mad. Now, if that was the only reason why he betrayed the group, then that would be pathetic. But ever since Mufasa came into his life, he seemed to always be one-upped by Mufasa. This wasn't because of malicious intent for Mufasa. In fact, Mufasa selflessly gave Scar a couple wins. But having this random lion cub come out of nowhere and be stronger, faster, and braver than you would absolutely mess with you, especially considering who his father was. Scar's father, Obasi's motto seemed to be, fake it till you make it, and that unfortunately stuck with Scar, who constantly felt like a failure because he was never taught or trained well. Mufasa, on the other hand, was a natural when it came to fighting, yes, but he also hung out with the lionesses who are the hunters and protectors of the pride, meaning Mufasa also put in the hard work. And then having an attractive lioness choose Mufasa over him, that was just kind of the wake-up call for him. Well, let's go back to when Eshe, Scar's mother and mother figure to Mufasa, was attacked. Mufasa jumps in right away to protect her, while Scar's terrified and runs away like a coward. After this encounter, Scar's overwhelmed with guilt and shame for not fighting to save his own mother. And although she reassures him that it was okay, seeing Mufasa save his mother had to have done a number to his mental health. It also makes Mufasa seem like the hero and Scar as the zero. I mean, what son would save himself rather than try to save his mother? It's also around this point that Obasi finally starts to acknowledge something good about Mufasa, which of course is good, but to Taka, it seems like even his own father is starting to like Mufasa more than him, because Obasi taught Scar that appearance is everything. His whole world would start to crumble when someone is better than him at something. Heck, basically everything. This made Scar extremely insecure about how others would perceive him. When Sarabi chose Mufasa, although it may seem pathetic, it actually makes a lot of sense when looking at the bigger picture. This is something that the film does really well, which is giving Scar a sympathetic backstory. Not a sympathetic backstory. I mean, you know what I mean. And I think they handled the whole dynamic with his family and Mufasa quite well. I just wish we saw more of it, because it's obvious that that period of both Scar and Mufasa's lives were vital in the characters they would later become. So because they glossed over it, especially for Scar, many people dismissed it and only saw the last straw, Sarabi, as the reason why he turned to the dark side. So clearly the story had some issues with not showcasing it as much, but because we're thirsty for more, that means it was really good, right? Yes, but that doesn't mean that it didn't have some flaws. In The Lion King, Scar not only plots to kill Mufasa, but actually succeeds in doing so without an ounce of regret, which isn't like the Scar that we see in Mufasa. Scar even saves Mufasa during the final fight scene between Mufasa and Kyros. So you're saying that in the time between Mufasa and The Lion King, Scar hardened his heart so much to the point that he banished every bit of his conscience into the abyss? Well, you know what that calls for? Mufasa 2. Time to roll out the sequel to the prequel of the remake of The Lion King. Oh yeah, not perfect, wish they would have elaborated more on Scar and Mufasa's childhood together, and even then, that backstory still has some flaws. Now, as for the Lion Guard, how Scar got his scar, it was not by being selfless. In fact, quite the opposite. A strange lion called the Strange Lion, gosh dang it, you guys aren't helping your case here, came to Scar with the proposition. He claimed he had wisdom and power of which he would give to Scar, and the two of them would rule. The Pride Lands? Oh no, friends. He said they would rule everything. Remember how in Mufasa, the White Lions were destroying every lion pride so they could rule everything? Yeah, in the 2D animated timeline, Scar was going to be that type of villain. However, Scar got mad when he got bit by the snake, and let's just say the Strange Lion's master plan didn't quite work out as he had probably hoped, because Scar went to full air conditioner mode and blew him away, never to be seen again. Am I getting deja vu? So Scar is a bit more of what you would consider a villain in this version. He had hopes and dreams of being all-powerful and all-ruling. Is that a word? And that led to his demise. It's alluded to that after he got bit by the snake, he went completely crazy. Because Kion also got bitten by a snake and was warned that without a cure, he would eventually lose the ability to tell right from wrong. Without a cure for himself, Scar clearly didn't know the difference between right and wrong. So we have a very clear answer here for why Scar killed Mufasa. He was already looking for a way to be king and rule basically everything, and then the venomous snakebite did not help at all. Is it heart-wrenching like Mufasa's version? Not at all. This Scar was written to be hated. He's selfish, prideful, and downright despicable. It's clear who the more evil Scar is. But does that make him the better Scar? Well, in my opinion, yes. He's supposed to be the villain, the big baddie that everyone's rooting against. And in Mufasa, you kind of just feel bad for the guy. Obasi was mean to him and he was rejected by the love of his life. Yes, how he handled those things weren't ideal, but we do see him step in and save Mufasa at the end, showing that he maybe regretted his betrayal. So he has a good heart in there somewhere. Whereas if the animated Scar has a heart, it's made of stone. And that's partially because the animated Scar is basically the definition of insane. He desired the throne so bad that it led to not just his brother's literal fall, but his own demise as well. There are a couple close calls in the Mufasa film, but each time it seems Scar retaliated against the voices in his head telling him to kill Mufasa directly. And yeah, this Scar just doesn't seem to line up as well with the cold-blooded brother killer in The Lion King, because this Scar never really sought the throne, at least not to the point of killing Mufasa for it. He also does at least somewhat know right from wrong. His scar is not from a snakebite that caused him to lose his sense of morality, so he doesn't have that excuse either. When we look at these two side by side, yeah, the Lion Guard's young Scar leads perfectly into the heartless monkey's uncle in the 1994 Lion King. But Mufasa's young Scar, something's missing. Yeah, his betrayal is indeed heart-wrenching, but it doesn't really explain why he killed his brother without hesitation in the 2019 film. But that's just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments. Thanks for watching.